Kees van Baar, thank you very much for coming into RNW today. Please tell us, you're the new Human Rights Ambassador for the Netherlands, so who is Kees van Baar?
I'm a diplomat. I started my career, my diplomatic career of course, with the diplomatic class. Human rights is always part of your job, be it in Moscow or in Jakarta or in Nairobi or wherever in the world. So I think it's not new. I think it is new for every diplomat does human rights. But of course it's very special to travel around the world now and to being dealing with only human rights.
It's never easy, of course, dealing with human rights. It's usually a message the governments not necessarily want to hear, or it can be a difficult issue to bring across. How do you deal with that?
The interesting thing is that a lot of countries where there are human rights violations, there are also things which go well. Like I think like China is a very good example, which if we talk about the right to development, then China and Vietnam, for example, and in Ethiopia as well, it's tremendous what they did in that respect. When it comes to free speech, of course, in those countries, then that's another matter. Yeah, it's another thing. Free speech has always been one of our priorities, and when our President Minister Koenders came into office in October, one of the first things he said, well, of course the policy still remains the same, but he would like to have more emphasis on free speech and protection of journalists. Right now it's still like once every week a journalist gets killed, like since last 10 years it's like, what is it, 675 journalists being killed. And what is worse is that 9 out of 10 of those killings are not being resolved, which, impunity, that's a big thing when it comes to journalists. If they are, you can shoot them because nothing is being done against it.
Has free speech moved up your agenda though now?
It was already one of the top priorities, so it's still a priority, and it underlines that we made the right choice. Yeah.
And if you get into a difficult situation on something like that, free speech with China, for example, is a classic example of a country where it's difficult to maybe talk about free speech. How do you deal with that?
Well, we also say when it comes to China, then of course free speech is one of the issues, but also we deal with China with other rights as well. And it is not something which we can change from one day to another. And what we try to do as well is in the discussions we have with the Chinese authorities, but also say on academic level and with people in other who are active in other parts of society, to discuss issues more broader, like women's rights, LGBT as well. And when you get into a discussion, then also free speech comes in as well. If you go to a country and you say, well, I'm only going to come here and discuss the things that go wrong in your country and it's about free speech, then you don't, no, it's not, then it doesn't work. You have to have a dialogue and you have to have some confidence, and also to see where you can work together. And it might be working together first in an area which is not immediately the area which we think is the most delicate area when it comes to human rights. But when you start in one area, then you can also, bit by bit, discuss other areas as well. It is, in that sense, it depends. It's different in every other country, how to tackle the issue.
Okay, Kees van Baar, thank you very much.
You're welcome.